Hello guys, welcome back to my channel with my crazy hair. I'm going to be getting ready, so I'm going to film a get ready with me. Please excuse my hair. It is an absolute mess. I have another video that I'm filming and I have to take 2 Instagram photos today for one is for a brand, the other is for a giveaway. As you guys know, I've been taking YouTube a lot more serious as far as making it a second job. So today is YouTube day for me. Brody is in daycare. I am off from work, which I felt guilty about at first, but I've been listening to podcasts lately. I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second, but I've been listening to a podcast recently. I'm gonna tell you guys what the name of it is. Earn Your Happy with Lori Harder, and I feel really motivated after listening to 2 episodes of her podcast. And one of them talks about how to create your own happiness, and partly what makes me happy is having some alone time and time to stay organized and stay on top of things. And sometimes that's going to mean putting Brody in daycare on one of my days off for me to get things done and just having a little bit of me time. And that's what I'm doing today. So I don't feel guilty about it. My mom brain tried to make me feel guilty, and then I just realized I need to snap out of it, and I need to get shit done. And that's what we're doing. Also, in this Get Ready With Me, I'm gonna be answering some questions. It's gonna be a Q&A. I did an Instagram post. You guys follow me on Instagram. If you don't, I'm gonna have it linked on the screen right here. I did an Instagram post a little bit ago. I wanna say it was right before Valentine's Day, asking for marriage and relationship advice questions. And Corey and I initially were going to film this Q&A together, but as you guys know, he went back to work and our schedules just are not matching. So I'm just gonna film this on my own. I probably won't answer every single question, but I'll just go through and find the good ones. And I'm just gonna do a very basic look. I know I probably don't do anything fun and interesting as far as makeup goes whenever I do these Get Ready With Me's. But the biggest purpose is just for me to sit down and talk to you guys while I'm doing something, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. My skin has been so bad. You guys, it's been horrible. I actually started using Persa gel, which I used in high school, but I don't think it worked for me, and I forgot that it existed. And then I saw Tara Henderson post about it, and I picked some up. But then my esthetician brain remembered that Persa gel is 10% benzoyl peroxide, and there's also another acne medication called salicylic acid. Benzoyl peroxide is more drying, so I have a lot of dryness on my mouth right now. I just exfoliated just before I started filming this, but now my skin is burning, it's dry and cracked. Little tiny quick lesson for you guys from a esthetician. I know I don't look like one because my skin looks terrible, but benzoyl peroxide is really great for mild acne. It's great if you have more oily skin because it is pretty drying. If you are normally somebody that has very sensitive skin or very dry skin, you definitely should avoid benzoyl peroxide because it can severely dry you out, which it has done on me in less than 2 days. You definitely only want to use it as a spot treatment, but it's better for mild acne and it's better for the red bumps and pustules, but not anything crazy. Salicylic acid is way better for blackheads and whiteheads, which is what I have. I obviously extracted and messed with them, but all I had was just whiteheads all here and on my nose and blackheads. So if you have blackheads and whiteheads, you might want to try salicylic acid out first. And it's still drying, but it's less drying than benzoyl peroxide. So this question, someone asked, how is your sex life since you had Brody? And someone else said, this is a good one. They want to know that as well. I am totally open on my channel. You guys know that I'm not embarrassed or shy to talk about anything. So I will definitely answer this because I feel like this is a question that maybe some people feel embarrassed to talk about or shy. I feel like our sex life is normal since having Brody. It's definitely not what it used to be before we had kids. We definitely had sex way more than we do now. Before kids, it was multiple times a day or every day. I'll see a mom in mom groups say that, and this isn't me like mom shaming, this is just like me giving an example, that they're so tired, out touched, so like all day with their kids clinging on them, they just get like touched out, so that by the end of the night when their husband comes home and like wants to touch them and get frisky, they're like, no, I'm done, I'm tired, I've had enough. And I feel like a lot of women feel that way. I don't feel that way. Even when I was a stay-at-home mom, I didn't feel that way, but I really feel like if you are somebody that feels that way, it's really important to put in the effort. Sex isn't everything, but it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the things that connects you as husband and wife, an intimate bond between you and your partner. So you still have to remember like why you guys got together and remember that like chemistry and that connection, because especially after kids, like it can be hard to feel connected to your spouse. Like that's definitely, I mean, aside from marriage, like that's what sets you apart from friends. You know, you don't do that stuff with your friends, you do that stuff with the person you love. I honestly want to say, like, we had sex at like 4 weeks postpartum with a condom. My tears were healed and I had not been bleeding anymore. I stopped bleeding at 2 weeks postpartum. So we've just been back at it since Brody was 4 weeks old. I'm not saying do it at 4 weeks postpartum. Definitely you should wait the full 6 weeks or whenever your doctor clears you, but it has been normal. Someone asks, what is the hardest thing about marriage for you? So the hardest part for me about marriage probably has to be the communication. I feel like my communication is different than Corey's type of communication. And I admit that like sometimes I feel like I just feel like Corey should know what I'm thinking. Like he should know what I'm talking about and I shouldn't have to explain myself or like keep on trying to explain myself. So the hardest part about marriage, I feel like for us, is just like always being on top of communication and like reiterating like how we feel about certain things. Someone asks, have I ever been close to calling it quits in my marriage? And I've seen other people get asked this question and they're like, no, I'm like madly in love and I would never say that. But yes, we have had moments where we have been really, really close and have actually discussed getting divorced. And I know that might sound a little bit alarming. That's just like the honest truth. And I'll tell you guys when that moment was, because if I'm being honest, there was really only one moment where we were in our marriage and we had that problem. And it was when Blair died, because she passed away our first year of marriage. We had gotten married that March. She died that October. It was in 2015. And it was just a really rough time. Corey and I didn't grieve the same way. We never went to grief counseling, which we should have. And I know that it's not too late, but I feel like we have coped since then and we have like our ways of coping, and we just didn't really talk at all about it. Like I don't even think Corey and I talked for an entire month after she died, and we were just like ships passing in the night. Like we would start our days and he would go to work, I would go to work, he would come home, I would come home. I was out with my friends a lot, he was out with his friends a lot, and that was it. And it was during the holidays and it was just a really depressing time for us, and we didn't deal with it properly. And I remember just one day, I don't even remember like how it started, but it was after all this, we had like this really big blowout fight, said our words, and then like calmly walked away. And then we got back together and we said, do you think we need to get a divorce? And we talked about it, and we decided not to, and we decided to work through it. And then since then, it's like, it's something that we've been working through. I'm not gonna say like every marriage is tough, because for some it's not, but for some it is, and that's okay if it is. It's not always going to be like rainbows and butterflies and happiness, and maybe it is for some people, and it also may be that way for some people, because maybe there's people that are married that haven't really gone through life together yet. Like a married couple can say, yes, we've been married for 4 years, we have a beautiful life, we've had kids, and we haven't had issues getting pregnant, and our kids have been healthy and everything's been perfect. But as you walk through life together, like year after year, things happen. And unfortunately in our marriage, a lot of things happened in our marriage that maybe don't always happen in the first year of being married. Like, we got pregnant and then we had a miscarriage, and then we got pregnant again, and our baby was diagnosed with a fatal, uncompatible with life condition. And then our baby died, and we had to have a funeral for our baby. And then we lost our house because we had so many medical bills to pay for our dead child that we literally, I don't think I ever talked about this, but we lost the house that we were living in, and we were essentially homeless for like a day because we didn't even know where we were gonna live. And we moved in with my parents, and we lived with my parents in their bonus room the entire year of 2016 until we got pregnant with Brody in August of 2016. And then we moved out and we got in an apartment, and things got a lot better. When you deal with things like that, your marriage gets tested and your relationship gets tested. And it's okay to say it's not okay right now. It's okay to say, like, we're gonna work through it. It's okay to fight sometimes and say, like, what's happening right now, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel okay. And maybe I'm rambling, but my whole point to this is that marriage is not always going to be easy. Even for the people that say right now that their marriage is easy, it might not always be that way. There's always going to be moments in your life where you are tested and tempted. And what it really boils down to is, I definitely don't define our marriage as like, that time we called it quits, so our marriage is doomed. I define it as like, this is our life. Like, I love this person so much that I'm willing to do life with them. I'm willing to walk through life with them and go through life experiences. And as long as you love that person and both people are like going all in and like making a conscious effort to be there for that person 100%, like have that person's back and listen to them and understand them, then you're going to be okay, and you're gonna get through it. Somebody asked, did Corey watch Brody come out? And they put a laughing face. Yes, Corey watched Brody come out. I watched Brody come out. My midwife was like, do you want a mirror so you can visualize your baby coming out and maybe it will be easier for you? And I said, okay, sure. Like, I'm exhausted at this point, right? So they roll over this like full length freaking mirror. I wanted to throw up. Do you guys know in like Super Mario Sunshine, that video game, if you guys were ever like video game nerds like I was, there's like this flower and it's like a piranha flower. My vagina looked like the big white lips. And I said, take it away, I don't wanna see it, I don't wanna see anything. I pooped the whole 2 hours that I was pushing. Like, it was hell. It was hell. And unfortunately, my husband had to see that. I don't know why he stuck around. Like, honestly, I give him props because he should have definitely vomited and left the room. But he didn't, and you know. Somebody wants to know what Corey and I's love languages are. So my love languages, if you guys are not familiar, there is a book that you guys can read about the 5 different types of love languages. Look it up. It's really interesting. Everybody has a different one. And Corey's love language is words of affirmation. My love language is, I'm trying to remember the name. It's like, I consider it a little bit of both. It's like, it's definitely quality time. And then the other one I think is gift giving, or it's like gifts. I like receiving presents, but it's not even like expensive things. Even if it's just something like he made, or like notes that he's left for me, which he's done. That is like my love language. Someone said, what's your favorite thing that the other does for you? Like buy flowers or give a massage, etc. It's the little things, heart. Similarly to what I just said, my favorite thing that Corey does for me is he brings me coffee every morning. So something that you guys may not know about Corey and I is that Corey is a morning person through and through. He wakes up naturally without an alarm at 4 a.m. every single day. He's a freak. Like, I just don't understand, and I will never be able to understand. I am the complete opposite. I am a night owl. I will gladly stay up until 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m. Like, I would much rather prefer to sleep in and stay up all night. Like, I've always been that way. Even just like when it comes to sleep, my mom said when I was a newborn, she brought me home from the first night from the hospital and she said I slept 12 hours, like the first night. And she said that I was like that my entire life. Like, I've always slept like a ton. Even when we had Hurricane Charlie in 2005, I slept through Hurricane Charlie. Like, apparently really scary, and I slept like a rock. So Corey's a morning person. I love when he brings me coffee every morning. Every single morning. There's like a couple days that he won't, and it's usually for a reason. He's running late, or I don't know, if he's in a bad mood, he won't do it. But he'll come into the room and he'll bring me coffee and give me a kiss, and I don't ask him to. Someone asked if I could only give Brody and any future babies one piece of advice for marriage, what would it be? That's a good question. I would probably tell Brody that, this is what I would tell Brody, because I'm a realist and I feel like I've told you guys this before. I would tell Brody that if you absolutely love someone to death and you can't see yourself without them and you can't live your life without them, and you feel that marriage is right for you, then I think you should make the decision to get married, but to know that it's not always going to be easy and it's not always going to be a walk in the park. Probably because of my experiences with what we've been through in our marriage, but just that if he's going to marry someone, he needs to go all in. He needs to be there for that person. He needs to support that person. He needs to love that person. And he really needs to just be present every day and like give them his all, basically. And I think that in doing those things, you will have a very successful and happy marriage, because you can go through literally so much and anything, but as long as you go through it with the person you love and you guys fight together, don't let life get in between you and the person you love and your spouse. Like, fight together and through it, don't fight each other. But this is my makeup look. It's a very basic everyday look because, like I said, I just have so much to do today and I just need to look put together at least a little bit. So that's all the questions I'm going to answer for now and for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you did. And I know you guys say that you really like my get ready with me videos and when I like sit down and talk about life experiences and stuff. So hopefully this is one of those ones that you guys enjoyed. As always, I love you guys so much. I love filming for you guys. And I've just lately been really inspired to create like relatable, like real content. If people are going to come in contact with me, I want them to walk away from their experience with me with like a positive mindset, or able to say that they have learned something or that they have felt inspired in some way. So I'm gonna go film a million more videos. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. I'm gonna have my Instagram handle linked down below, as well as all of my other social media accounts. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.